You guys seem to have liked the video where I complained about the toxic positive personality, which is basically where you have a legitimate grievance to be upset. Like maybe you got fired, or maybe a loved one passed away, your cat died, and the person comes along and it's like, oh, well, don't worry about it. You're going to find a better job. You're going to find someone else. At least you have your health. And we discussed about that. Sometimes it feels very invalidating to have other people just dismiss your emotions, especially when they're legitimate. I did see some people in the comment section say that, well, what do you expect me to say? And the correct answer is either don't say anything, or just say, oh, I'm really sorry that happened to you, or you can find solutions. Like if someone gets fired and you come along and you say, all right, well, I have these couple of friends of mine that may be looking for someone to hire, or I got this really good website that if you set up a profile, you may get some people interested in you. Like that is a lot more helpful than to just have someone come along and say, well, it's okay, just don't worry about it. Now, we can talk about another annoying personality type, and I just don't want to point them out, but I want to give you guys actual solutions with how to tackle them. I'm no psychologist, but believe me, in 36 years of my life, I have discovered various ways on how to keep people that I don't like at bay. Now, the second personality type is actually incredibly common, and it is also incredibly obnoxious. It's the complainer. And all of us have the complainer in our life in one form or another. He usually manifests itself when you're at your highest. Like you manage to complete the project that you worked hard on and you're very happy with it, whether it's a piece of art or you managed to do some carpentry and made a table, or you managed to fix some pipes, or you repaired your car, or you purchased a new house, or you purchased some furniture, whatever it is, you did something, and you're very proud of it. And you want to show it to other people. You want to have other people look at your accomplishment. And the complainer comes along and he will just point out flaws in your work of art. He will say that your table is not up to standard. He will say that your house has many flaws that you haven't considered. Your neighbors are too noisy. There's a dog that shits in your porch. The complainer is not giving you valid criticism. He is tearing apart the stuff that you're proud on, and it's incredibly damaging to a person's emotional well-being. It's incredibly damaging to a person's psyche. It can do wonders in destroying your self-esteem. It can ruin your day. And in some cases, it can even make the person feel depressed. Now you can say, well, you can ignore the complainer, which in some cases is true, but like, what do you do when it's a family member? Or what do you do when you have to work with the complainer because he's a coworker or your boss or a professor? In that situation, it can be devastating for a person's self-esteem. And there are several solutions that you can employ. Obviously, the first one is to ignore the complainer if you don't have any type of strong relationship with them. You need to come to grips with reality that you don't need friends like that. You do not want to surround yourself with people that are trying to distract you from your accomplishments. People that only have negative things to say. And it can be that that's legitimately the personality of the complainer. Like, he doesn't have necessarily something against you, or he doesn't even realize that what he is doing is upsetting you. But that's none of your business. Like, if a person systematically diminishes your accomplishments and treats you like shit, you don't need that person in your life. So if it's possible for you to distance yourself from them, then do so. They do not bring any positive. And not only that, they're not even a neutral acquaintance. They're legitimately someone that's there to sabotage you. However, it becomes a lot more difficult when it's a family member. Now, I notice many people, and I myself included, have been guilty of this. And I think it's natural that we are trying to please our parents, right? Like, we try to show to our parents that once we leave our house, we have managed to create a good life for ourselves. And we want them to feel happy with our accomplishments. We want them to feel happy that we bought a new home or that we got the new furniture, as I discussed previously. But sometimes you notice that your parents are not happy enough. They may not be happy with the choice of career that you have. They may not be happy with the color of the furniture that you have. And they may constantly complain. So the first thing that you need to do in this situation is understand that you have complete control over your mind. You have no control over other people. You cannot decide what other people think or say. But you have perfect control over your mind, and you need to understand that you do these things for yourself. You do not live your life for others. You are not a child anymore. You do not go to school to get good grades in order to show mommy that you got an A+. You do things to make yourself happy. You do things that you know are good for yourself and for those around you. You do not do things in order to impress other people. And when you have this mindset, and when you stop caring, the complainer already loses most of its power. However, I do understand that this is a lot easier said than done, so I come up with another solution to deal with the complainer. It's to ask the complainer questions. Many people will stop being negative when they are placed in an advisory role. So basically what you need to do is you need to ask the complainer, well, how would you deal in my situation? So for instance, I actually had this problem with my parents when I wanted to switch from law school to med school. And it wasn't just my parents, there were many naysayers saying that, well, you're not going to be able to do it. Don't you know how difficult med school is? You're already older than your other peers that will start med school. By the time you finish the residency exam, you're going to be middle-aged. It's a lot more difficult to absorb knowledge when you're older than when you're young. How are you going to stay competitive? When are you going to find money to do this? So basically, there were a lot of naysayers that weren't offering productive criticisms. So what you have to do is ask them questions. You ask, well, how do people manage to study at two universities? Where do people make money to go to a second university? How do people older than me manage to finish med school? And by asking them these questions, you will see that the complainer ceases its complaints. And this is mostly due to the fact that it's easy to complain, it's easy to nitpick, but it's very difficult to find solutions. So if you insist on this, like the complainer may just, keep complaining, but if you insist in asking them and you throw another barrage of questions at them, then it becomes very difficult for the complainer to maintain the complaining. And they will usually stop because it becomes tiresome for them. Again, you are asking them now to come up with actual solutions, and this actually requires brain power. To complain requires no brain power. To destroy is very simple. To build is very difficult. And you will notice that you're going to have an easier time and how quickly they stop complaining the moment you put them on the spot and you're asking, okay, well, you're right. I mean, it is difficult to make 2 universities. How would you do it? How do other people do it, right? But you need to ask it in a genuine, in a serious manner without sounding like you're mocking them or ridiculing them. Like you need to act as if you're genuinely asking for advice. And surprisingly, in some cases, you may actually get good advice. So let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.